Morning everybody, Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. Melanie has been recording some video in the kitchen, and I just got to pause in between her recording to tell you what I'm doing. I am studying the wiring diagram for the coils on the output of the stator windings. So this is there's a lot of wires involved here. And I'm really taking my time to study this assembly manual before I go ahead and with each step and start putting things together. Good evening everybody, Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. It's about 8 o'clock in the evening and I haven't done any work today because it was my birthday. So, by the way, thank you all for the birthday wishes that I have received. I'm sure I'll receive many more now. Most people didn't know. Melanie and I had a really nice day, and you can check out her channel for some cute little videos she made, Off-Grid Homesteading with Melanie. What you see here is me trying to get out of my own light. I have the timing disc for the Q3 charge accelerator, and I have the diode and electronics section. I went and got more wire tonight at Radio Shack, but I am tired and I'm not going to mess with the soldering tonight because I want to do a nice job, and I can do some simple mechanical work which needs to be done anyway. So I'm going to assemble these two sections of the generator tonight. Can't quite see if you can see what I'm doing here, but I am going to put the little hub piece onto the magnet wheel of the timing disc assembly. Maybe I should come back to you in a moment. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay, so the magnets will, there's an indentation in here, and then the magnets will sit in there. I see now. Okay. So, this are, the magnets are going to be this way. Okay. This is going to be this way. Alright, and I have some screws with washers. They'll go through. It looks like I'm going to have to go get a, I think that's a hex. I'm going to go into there. Try not to touch this as little as possible, so I might be making it look a little awkward at times, but if I get fingerprints in the plastic where I won't be able to touch it later, I won't be able to clean it. So if I had white gloves, I would wear them today when doing this. The diagrams in this assembly are pretty clear. You just have to really take your time and look at things and figure it out before you start your assembly. By the way, I'd like to make a correction. There's this guy who calls himself Scorch on the internet, in the forums, and on YouTube. And he had built one of these a few years back. And he made a statement that the parts for the machine, all the machine work was outsourced. And I have been communicating with the company, and I have been told that no, they are not outsourced. So I'd just like to make that correction for the public. This guy had even stated a website where he had said that they were outsourced. So whether it was or not before, I don't know. I just want to make that correction that they said that they are not outsourced. So, also this stuff is made in America. Somebody made a comment about Chinese garbage. Well, not this. This is made in America. So, there's that piece. That's very simple. Now, there are some neomagnets, which I have to go get my compass so I can figure out which side is north on the neomagnets. It says use a drop of super glue only if necessary when putting the magnets in. Also, there's a timing magnet separate. Can you see up here in my hand? Yes, I think you can. The neomagnet's here, yes. And there's a timing magnet. From my understanding, that's for adjusting the timing. Alright, I have to go get my compass, and then I have to put these all with the all in the proper order with the south poles facing the reed switch. So north poles will be facing towards the rest of the motor and following the same orientation as the magnets in the motor, from my understanding here. Okay, I have to go get my compass then, and I think I also need to put on the back plate of this. Now, there's the timing disc goes outside here, and this is an adjustable disc which will hold the reed switch right here. There's a zip tie mounts for holding the reed switch, and this will be adjustable. So I think I'm going to put this onto the back plate of the motor itself and get these screws in place with the spacers, and then get the timing wheel on there. Okay, I have the back plate here, and I have removed a protective paper backing, and I have my compass so I can tell which is the south side of the magnets. Now, there's here a bolt and a lock washer and a normal washer. It goes through the timing disc. And I will remove the paper backing. Okay. Now this goes through here, and then a spacer. Right, and then that will thread into, whoops, I'm trying not to touch the acrylic. That'll thread into here. I'm just going to set it in place for now. And I'm going to make sure I have the right holes. Let me see, I have to make sure. I think I have to move that. Yes, that's not right. Alright. I have to figure out which holes are for that. And there's 4 screws, and there's going to be 4 holes. I think I found it. I know I'm making this look very awkward only because I'm just trying not to touch the stuff. The less cleaning I have to do later, the better, in my opinion. And, by the way, somebody mentioned the lock washer that I put on those bolts earlier, and how you don't put the lock washer on the way I did it, and I did correct that. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I did change it. There's the lock washer goes under the head of the bolt, and then the normal washer. So I don't know if you all noticed that, but I changed it in that very video. But I also have to say, I was in contact with the company, and they pointed out that I can use the non-threaded holes in the hub and have the screws pass all the way through to the other side, and then just use nuts on the back side. So I'll be back off the Tractor Supply because I don't know if I found nuts in the kit or not. I don't think there were nuts for that purpose. If there's not, then that's my bad and I'm sorry. I'll double check tomorrow. But if there isn't, then I'll be back to Tractor Supply and I'll be getting some nuts that'll fit them. Not a big deal. A couple cents of hardware. Just a couple cents. Alright, I've got to get my hex driver. I'm not going to tighten them down tight anyway. I just want it on there. And these have a knurled, I think that's the right word, head. You can adjust it with your finger. This is very, very well machined. Everything is threaded and everything is beautifully fitting together. Alright, I'm not going to mess with that for now. So there's that. Now the magnets can go into the disc, and I want to see if they're going to fit properly. So we have to find the north side. Can you see what I'm doing? Of the magnet. So that's the south side. So the south side will be facing, I want north facing towards the front of the motor, what I'm going to call the front. So there's the north. The south pole of the compass is facing the north side of the magnets. This is north, okay? So these little neo magnets, really, really strong. And I'm going to press them in to the disc. They should press in nicely. Alright, I might have to get my, I'll use my shirt. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to press these in and you can't see what I'm doing anyway. Okay, there's the wheel with the magnets assembled. Very simple and a very nice fit. This stuff is very well machined. I have all the magnets facing, the north of the magnets are facing towards the front of the motor. So it'll sit in here like this, and they'll all be facing towards the front of the motor. This being what I call the back of the motor, and the toroid being on the front. So, there's that. Now I'm going to double check this, my setup here, make sure they all say south. Okay. If the compass moves, then I'll know that I'm wrong. Nope, there it stays pretty good and stable. So I've got them all facing the right way, north facing towards the front of the motor. Okay, I am now going to put together, I'm thinking actually about putting the motor shaft through and putting a couple bolts through here to give it a little bit of something to stand on, and then I can put in the bearing, and then I can put together the electronics. So I'm sort of thinking out loud, so I'm going to pause the camera here. I'll be back in a few minutes. Hi guys, I actually took out the bearing and I pressed it in, and I'll show you on the next one I do in better light as well. What I did actually is put the bearing in place from the back side. It goes in from the back side, and then I actually laid this on the floor, and using my knees so I wouldn't get this all covered in fingerprints, I put in opposite corners, and then on the sides I put pressure evenly and equally and press that bearing right in, and it's a very snug fit. It's a very good snug fit. Now I'm just experimenting around here tonight, and nothing is permanent here, but I'm getting a feel for how this goes together. I've got the shaft in my hand, and let me see. See, nothing ever goes as well on video as it does when you're playing around, because you're concentrating on the video. There we go. It fits through, it's a snug fit, but it gives you enough playroom to slide that rod through, which is what I was hoping. And then this little guy will go on to here on the very end. Does it go in there that way, or does it go this way? Well, anyway, I'm pretty sure that goes on there like that. So I'm going to have to play with that. I do believe, wait, there's something in the way. There's a piece of, oh, it's a washer. I have to push the washers out of the way. I see. Just a tiny bit of that washer is pushing out enough to give me some trouble here. So I think I'm going to slide this on and then tighten those down fully, where I'm showing you this way. I think I'm going to slide this onto the shaft and then tighten the bolts so that the washers don't slip out in the way like they did on me. Okay? Because there's just a little bit enough that they can come out and get in your way. So with those loose, I do believe this could slide over. Should be able to slide on. Yeah, those washers try to get in my way. I may have to go without, but let's see. And again, I'm just testing things out for feel and fit here tonight. All right. Nothing here is written in stone tonight. Just checking the fit. So, if I can get those tightened up, keeping the washers out of the middle, then I'll be okay. So I'll come back to this tomorrow, I guess, putting this piece on. We'll do that in all good daylight. But for now, I'm getting a feel for how this fits with the bearing in there. Very snug, very nice feel. Got the bearing in place. I'm going to put the couple bolts through here and then probably call a night off on that. And then I still got to want to do the diode assembly tonight. And then tomorrow I can do the final soldering job. And I'll be feeling pretty good. Should be able to get this thing running soon. Alright, well I'm going to pull out the bolts and figure exactly, get all the parts to put them through. And we'll be back in a couple minutes. Alright guys, I have a bolt right here on the top. And I'm looking here, number 11 is first, is a black nylon washer. So we'll put that on there. And it's on the top most hole. And then number 10 is a flat stainless steel washer. So we'll put that on next. Alright. Number 12 is a split lock washer. Whoops, I failed to get them out. Thought I had everything out. Split lock washer. And number 13 is a stainless steel finish nut. Fits on nice and fine. I'll have to obviously get my tools and tighten it up solidly. So the 4 big machined pieces here, and it has a hole in the middle which will be used on the far opposite end of the device later. So then we've got a nylon washer, stainless steel washer, and then a lock washer, and a stainless steel nut. I'm just going to put these 4 guys on there right now. And I could actually put on my coil assembly that I've already finished. I could put them on tonight as well, and then I could have a feeling of accomplishment for this night. Oops, that shaft doesn't want to stay there right now, so we take him out. Oh, sit still. Alright, I'm going to put the 4 pieces on, and we'll be back. Hey everybody, I'm just playing around here and getting a feel for this. I will show you something, an important discovery in a minute here. But I got the coil plate on here, and I'm just whirling down the nuts down the shaft here to get it in place. Just getting not tightening it. And I'll turn it around and show you something I noticed that's really neat. I wondered what the indentations in the frame were for. It's actually called the bearing plate. The outside frame piece is called the bearing plate. And I'll show you. Oops. Full start. Well, this way at least I can stand this up when I put it aside, and it won't get all scratched or banged or dirty. So I can sort of stand it up using them as a bit of a foot. Now what I noticed here is this recess is designed for this nut to go right down inside. That's perfect. And turn it around here. This is a cutout for the nut of the bolt from the coil to pass into, to make this even nice and narrower. So that fits all neatly together. Now the only thing in my way at this time are my wires and my zip ties. Are the only thing causing me or preventing me from putting this flush would be those items. But I think that's okay. I'm going to study the rest of the diagrams some more tonight. As I said, I'm just piecing this together, so nothing is written in stone right now. I'm just getting a feel for how it goes together and the layout of it tonight. And, just putting it together and see how it looks. I still have to take that and give it a good wipe down before I do the final and permanent assembly. But it's quite a beautiful design. I'll show you this again in a better light tomorrow. So I'm going to set this aside because now it can stand up in a way on its own feet there, so to say. And I'll get the rectifier diode plate put together, and that'll be it for tonight. Here, everybody. Well, here's the diode assembly. And you've got this big mounting plate, which I'm going to free from its prison. Okay. And then there's one of the solid state relays, which we will need for this project. In the box here, it's a solid state relay. Alright, let me turn the camera so you can see better what I'm doing. Okay. And I'm guessing we're going to need all this mounting hardware, so I'm going to get everything out and laid out on the desk neatly, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, I have a rectifier diode and a screw and a screw into this plate here. I would not torque this down tightly, just make it snug, nice and snug. And I'm going to guess that this is probably some sort of a cooling plate. Because this has a metal top. So, in case things get heated up, now I'm not sure. I know aluminum on the Bedini motor had some interesting characteristics. So I don't know if there's any meaning behind that or not. This is an experimenter's kit designed to be experimented with. And that's what I plan on doing. I'm going to learn a lot with this thing. So I'm just trying to make sure they're beautiful and straight. Now, I've got to figure out the no fault of the motor manufacturer, but the manufacturer of the rectifier did not put any markings on it except for the part number. So I'm going to have to research that and figure out what's what on the plus minus and the two AC lines on this. And I think I can figure it out from looking at the diagram on the assembly sheet, but I'll Google it just to be safe. So all your diodes go on there. And that'll be it for tonight. Once I get this all together, just this plate here, I'll call it a night. And tomorrow I will do the rest of the soldering on the other stator half, and then put the motor together and see if I can get it running. So there's them. Now I'm going to need the one solid state relay out of the box. And that's a that goes there. Also a cooling plate. And that has, this is going to be really neat because that has an LED in it, so that's going to show you as the thing is operating. That's going to be flashing on and off. Now there's going to be two of these. I might as well just mount them both, I think. They only show the one going on for now, because that's of course what you're doing at this point, is mounting the one for the motor assembly. But I'm going to go ahead and put them both on. I've got to check which screws we need here. Number 6, that was 5 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. And then number 7, the flat washer. So that would be these guys here. Alright. And, oh yes, that's going to require a hex head, which I don't happen to have with me. So I might have to call it a night. I'm going to have to go get the tools to mount that. I've got to go get my hex tools out of the workshop. Hex head drivers. So then I do believe that that gray piece of film is important for heat transfer. Okay, and that's how that's going to go on. Alright, well I guess then that's going to be it, because the rest of these are all hex Allen wrench, I guess I could say. They're all Allen wrench screws. So we will call it a night, and tomorrow I'll finish tightening these down. Alright guys, I will show you a view of the motor assembly as it looks now. It's quite beautiful. And then I'll say good night. Alright, there everybody. That is the motor right now. And I don't know, the camera doesn't do it justice. It's really beautiful when you see it in person. Oh, Felix just jumps in front of the camera. Alright, there it is, guys, so far. Talk to you all later. Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. Good night.